Hey guys, hope you are having a good day. It's been a beautiful day outside. You see it's sun's out. It's been hot this week. But I wanted to share a little bit something with you. This past Sunday, one of our pastors was preaching on a message called "What Voice Are You Listening to?" And he played a video, had a video played on YouTube titled "Master's Voice: A Passenger's Testimony." I'll tag it in this post here for you. You can watch it. But it spoke volumes to me. I mean, it was just like, man, it was just so real. And it was about a pilot that had lost consciousness, and the passengers had to fly the plane. And the guy on the other end was talking about telling him just to listen to my voice. If you listen to my voice, I can save you. I can get you home safely. But if you don't, you'll crash and burn. And he talked about how he, had, so many people he watched crash and burn because they wouldn't listen to his voice. As Christians, we're the same way. We won't listen to the voice of the Master because we got so many other voices in our head just going on and on and on, telling us what we need to do, and we'll listen to this person, that person. We'll listen to our favorite author, our favorite preacher, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to our spiritual life, the one that we need to listen to the most is the Master's voice, God's voice. So my question is to you: what are you listening to? What is affecting your life? What is leading your life? Is things around you leading your life, or is you allowing your everyday life, as far as your job and work and school, take precedent over listening to the Master's voice? There's so many people in the Bible. If we would look at the scriptures and see how many people was listening at the Master's voice. I mean, you have Adam and Eve in the garden. They would hear his voice every single day. For the longest time, that's all they had, until the serpent came in. When the serpent came in, what happened? They began to listen to his voice. And we all know the story of what happened when they listened and partake of something that God told them not to. They were cast out of the garden. They lost their inheritance. They lost what God had given them. And we see Noah. Noah, he was told to build an ark. Now, he could have listened to everybody in the island and says, "You're crazy. It's not going to rain. There's no such thing." He'd never heard of rain. No one ever heard of rain. But because he listened to that voice, said, "Noah, build me an ark." Because of that, his family was saved, and a new life began here on planet Earth. Abraham, he listened to the voice and made a covenant. It made him the father of many nations. Moses, he listened to the voice of God in a burning bush. Didn't see nobody, just listened to the voice. It gave him a mission to deliver the Israelites out of bondage. Now, he could have listened to the voice of his head, and he even tried. He even talked about, "Hey, I stutter. I can't do this. I'm not a leader." And he could have stopped right there if he had. Do you think that the children of Israel would have been free? Do you think they'd had the promised land? It's something to think about. But he listened to the Master's voice. Elijah, he was running for his life. Running for his life because Jezebel was wanting to kill him. But the voice of God came to him when it seemed that to be his last days. The voice of God found him in a cave down there and told him to go anoint a new king of Syria and Israel. What happens if Elijah chooses not to do that? See, we have a choice. We have a choice either to listen to the voice of God, or we can listen to what's in our head, or listen to what other people tell us. There's a lot of people out there that has their own ideas, their own opinions of what we need to, how we need to live our life. But what is most important is what the Word says. And we hear that so many times in our church from our pastor. What does the Word say? If we will follow the Word, because the Word is God. The Word was made flesh. John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. See, so if we listen to that voice, how do I hear the voice? Get in His Word. There's the voice. It's right there. The apostles, they listened to the voice that told them to tarry in the upper room to receive the Holy Ghost. Man, aren't you so glad they listened? And Jesus, oh my goodness, His Son, He even listened to His Master's voice. He even laid down His life because God, His Father, said, I need you to go. I need you to go to a nation that has just corrupted. They have no sense of morals. I need you to go and sacrifice yourself that they might be saved. He led the lamb to the slaughter, and God delivered us, gave us hope. And if He hadn't done that, sin would not have been defeated. These are just a few that's in the Bible. Numerous instances of individuals hearing from God. They demonstrated the importance of listening to Him and obeying God's voice throughout history. When we listen to the voice of God, we can accomplish great things. They did. I mean, my goodness, look at Moses. He listened to the voice. All these guys listen to the voice, and they accomplish great things. We just have to listen. We need to turn off all of the other voices that's in our heads and tune into just one voice. Just one voice. Yes, it's hard. I mean, I have voices in my head all the time. People think I'm crazy, but I just want one voice. I want one voice telling me, Glenn, you need to go tell people about me. Glenn, you need to not do this. You don't need to listen to this. Glenn, you don't need to watch this. Glenn, you don't need to be partaking this. Glenn, you need to walk away when they start talking like this. That's the voice we want to listen to. We need to listen to the spiritual voice and not that fleshly voice that we have. Have you ever tried to listen to a radio station? I just happened the other day, and you're trying to hear one thing, and all of a sudden you got all these other channels that's close by. They're trying to get in on that one channel, and all of a sudden everything gets confused, and you can't get that one voice out. You can't get that one station that you're trying to hear. Well, that's what's in our heads. That's what's there. We are seeing, we are hearing things that we don't need to hear. We need to, turn it away. Concentrate on that one voice that's trying to get through to us, and we can do that. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. Why is it hard? Because we still have a fleshly body. We still crave fleshly things, but we need to let the Spirit override that and listen to that one voice. When we have so many things trying to nudge each other out until we get confused, and we start listening to this, listening to that, we'll begin to get confused of what is really like, what's really wrong. We must tune out all the noise and listen to that one clear, small voice. In 1 Kings chapter 19, God spoke to Elijah, not in a dramatic display of wind or earthquake or fire, all that noise, but in a still, small voice. We just need to be quiet sometimes and listen to that voice. Just listen to Him. We're so easy to start talking over everything else. We do that. We do God the same way. He'll start telling us, but God, what about this? God, if I do that, they're going to say something. God, if I do this, I'm not going to be able to, pay for my car or have my house payment. We need to back up and say, whoa, okay, God, this is what you're telling me to do. I'm going to have faith. I'm going to have faith that you are going to show me the path, and I'm going to do what you tell me to do. I'm going to follow in your footsteps. I'm going to follow where. See, as long as Moses was leading them and going by what God had told him to do, the Israelites had a straight path. It's only when the Israelites began to rebuke and begin to turn on God till lives were lost. They didn't have to stay in the wilderness for 40 years. Didn't have to. But because of not listening to the voice, it put them longer to the promised land. And some of them didn't even get to make it to the promised land because of it. Moses didn't. Why did not Moses? If you go back and read and see what happened, you'll see where Moses struck a rock when he wasn't told to. He listened to his voice and not God's voice, and it kept him out of the promised land. Others had to lead them in. Our pastor shared a scripture in Romans 6 through 18. I'm going to read it from the Passion Translation because I really like the way it says. But it says, "Don't you realize that grace frees you to choose your own master? But choose carefully, for you surrender yourself to become a servant, bound to the one you choose to obey. If you choose to love sin, it will become your master. And it will own you and reward you with death. But if you choose to love and obey God, He will lead you into perfect righteousness. And thanks be to God, for in the past you were servants of sin, but now your obedience is heart deep, and your life is being modeled by truth through the teaching you are devoted to. And now you celebrate your freedom from your former master, sin. You've left its bondage, and now God's perfect righteousness holds power over you as His loving servants. It tells us exactly what happens when we listen to the wrong voice. The voice that we listen to is our master. And when we surrender that voice, it says it brings death to us, spiritual death, and even a physical death. But this is what I like about the last part of verse 16. It says, if we choose to obey the voice of God, it will lead us into perfect righteousness. I love that part. I would rather be there than listen to sin and how it gets us into trouble. Why are we listening to other voices that we only lead us into the path of destruction? Do we like turmoil in our lives so much that we ignore what God is telling us? If we listen, He will lead us into our inheritance. If we choose not to listen, then we will remain slave to those things that we listen to. In the latter part of verse 6, it says, if you choose to love sin, it will become your master, and it will own you and reward you with death. If you're a child of God, God owns you. But if you listen to sin, Satan owns you. It's the only way is to it. How much plainer does it need to be in this verse? There are many voices in the world trying to tell us what we should do. None of that matters. The only voice we need to listen to is the voice of God. Friends, I tell you this, in experience, every time that God tells me something and I have a but, or I say, God, I think it's better this way, I can go this way and it's better, more easier. Every time that I went a different way, it always wound up a mess. And if you're honest with yourself, the same things happen to you. So I encourage you today, listen to the Master's voice. Listen to what that voice is telling you. Just quiet everything else out. Turn the TV off. Put the phone down. Turn the radio off. Just be quiet and listen. Be amazed what you will hear when you just listen. I love you. I'm praying for you. I just wanted to tell you this real quickly, share this with you. Follow me on Facebook, The Christian Cafe. We also follow our podcast. We're on YouTube. So if you have a chance, go to our podcast, listen there. We're getting ready to record another episode here shortly and put up there. So God bless you. I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.